I have been an idiot, and that's why I made this video, to help you. At one time, I had to figure out things on my own. I was an oldest sibling in a family where athletics and working out was not prioritized. It took trial and error to figure out how to get in shape, what to eat, and how to do it with no guidance. Now with almost 20 years of working out and as a certified personal trainer, I hope to make your weight loss and fitness goals successful right away by learning from my mistakes. I will cover the mistakes I made and my top tips to ensure you will lose weight and stay in shape for years to come. Now, let's start with food. First, figure out where you're messing up. 99%, really most of the time, it has to do with what you're eating. However, if it's not that, look at your sleep, workouts, mental health, work-life balance, and really see what's the missing part. Most people find there's some issue with food and how much they're eating. Whether too much or too little, it's easy to mess up. A lot of times, if you have issues with food, it could be one of three things. You could either be overeating, having large portion sizes, or when you eat is not structured with random eating times, or third, you're not eating enough of the right micronutrients in your body. My first suggestion is if you're having a hard time with knowing when to eat, with regular meals, set a couple times that you know will work with your schedule. Even if you're busy at these times, if you have something ready to eat, you can eat it then. A lot of times, some type of intermittent fasting diet when you only eat in an 8-hour window can help jumpstart weight loss. I would build the eating window around when you like to eat. For example, if you like lunch with coworkers, have the time you eat include lunch. If you have a 5:30 dinner with your family, then have your eating window a few hours before and a few hours after that mealtime in the evening. If you don't have a problem with structured meals, but instead with overeating, most of the time it has to do with eating too many carbohydrates. Carbs taste the best, most likely to be overeaten, and are most gratifying taste-wise. They signal to our body, making us feel happy in the moment. This is probably because we're wired to run on them for energy. Simply put, it's hard to control the size of the carbs you eat without some concentration. Please let us know if this content is applicable to you and what other topics you would like to hear more on. Please subscribe and like the video, turn on notifications. It really helps us so much. Now, to help visually, it's important to realize roughly how big proportions should be. Look at a plate and you can start to eyeball how much you should have. 3/4 of your plate should be protein and or a fibrous carb. Make sure to get enough protein even when cutting calories, as this helps you keep muscle. More on this later. You can still have 1/4 of your starchy carbs, but these should not dominate your plate. Starchy carbs are things like pasta. Most likely when you load up the plate, you put pasta on the whole plate instead of just one part. Or you have a plate of pasta with a little chicken on top, or a plate of rice with a little protein on it. In my opinion, it's easier to have one section that has the starchy carbs so you can really see it and make sure you're getting enough protein as well. Also, don't stack your plate up super high or grab a giant plate. By breaking this down into easy to see visual areas, you can make sure you have a protein source and fibrous carbs, which tend to be more filling so you won't overeat. If you keep your plate similar to what has been described above, it will allow you to not have to count calories as much, as it keeps portions in check. If you change your nutrition or way you eat, you're basically looking at modifying calories in some way. If you have a structure for when you eat and how much is on your plate, it can take away some of the tedious steps. Thermodynamics are boring yet true, and the calories in versus calories out are the bottom line any way you spin it. Another big mistake is eating too little. This is a really big no-no. One big mistake people make is to eat less food when they're trying to lose weight. To lose weight, you don't just want to eat less, that messes you up. That will make you a smaller, flabbier version of yourself and will mess up your metabolism. Your body gets used to eating less until there's nothing left to cut back on. You still haven't lost all the fat you want to. If you really want to look better, you need to also maintain lean muscle mass. It takes concentrated effort to eat high protein filling food and cut out the junk. You need to make sure you have high quality, high density protein filled meals. They'll keep you full. Full will help you keep the muscle on and help you burn off more fat the right way in a way that is sustainable. More on this at the end. But if it's not food, it could be overtraining. It's easy to simply just do too much. Sometimes we, or at least me in the past, have thrown something at the wall and hope it sticks. Or if you're like me, you try all these different techniques such as lifting fast, lifting slow, heavy, light, throw them all in one workout, and it never works. This overtraining can lead to injury or lack of progress. Your body can only handle so much. When you start listening to fitness influencers, hear different YouTube fitness experts, or read 50 different fitness articles, it can lead to inaction or paralysis. You try to absorb so much and there's so many different opinions on how to structure a workout that you may feel overwhelmed. Importantly, I would always recommend checking your sources and getting good information. I made the mistake as a young teen, just getting my advice from whatever source was nearest my fingertips. This was the early mid-2000s, so it was a lot of muscle and fitness magazines and Men's Health online. Today, anyone can post whatever they like and workout they're doing online. We have a plethora of information on fitness, some good, some not so good. Fitness is also always changing as we learn and find out more. Sometimes if you just scroll and scroll through different channels, you can get stuck and feel further from figuring things out. I would recommend, of course, really making sure you're learning from someone who has worked in the industry or from peer-reviewed journals and meta-analysis with real data. I would focus, of course, on information I provide as I try to look up good sources, and with being a trainer, having been in the industry for the better part of 2 decades, have some background. Find a program that works for you, hit your main lifts, and don't binge too much fitness contests, unless it's on this channel. Another mistake I made personally that I was just a runner. I would run and run and run, would run every day no matter what, even when in pain. Whether it was raining or my shins were literally splinting, I would make sure to get my run in. I worked up to the point where I was running 6 to 7 miles every single day. While this consistency and dedication paid off at first, it got to the point where I would not listen to my body if it was telling me to stop and recover. Sometimes a short run would have been better, or it could have been better to work on sprinting. Sometimes longer, slower would be good. And other times, if I had just done that, it would have helped me been faster over the long run. If I would have listened to my body and mixed in some rest days. I encourage you to not set an unhealthy pace, but instead stay consistent and listen to the cues your body will give you naturally. Another thing you can do is to work out too much doing the wrong thing. For example, doing 20 sets of bicep curls every day, not leaving the bench press for an hour, or squatting all 70 days a week. There's a such thing as too much. Doing too many sets with no structure can wreak havoc on your body and nervous system. With weights, doing more is not always better. If this was the case, working out 24 hours a day would optimize results. High protein, sleeping enough, feeding the body, this provides the magic. You want to elicit the most change from your body with the least amount of resistance. To do so, I would recommend pushing moderately heavy weight near failure, recovering, then coming back and pushing more weight. Aim to consistently work out anywhere between 3 to 5 times a week long term. I would recommend the following. Hit each muscle 2 times a week. Aim for roughly 2 to 4 sets per exercise for 6 to 12 reps. This is just a general rep guideline. Try to complete compound lifts first. Think bench, shoulder press, squat, and pull-ups, for example. Train close to failure. This means 2 to 3 reps and reserve what your failure point is. Moving on, take a break. Sleep, make sure to get your sleep. According to a 2021 research study from the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, it is recommended that the average person sleep at least 7 hours a night for optimal health. Overall recommendations of 7 to 9 hours a night are recommended by the Sleep Research Society for most age groups. Recommendations can vary by age for pediatric aged kids. The whole idea of encouraging better sleep is to help with anxiety, depression, grogginess when exhausted, driver safety, all the way to teaching and helping kids form good habits to succeed in life. When I was younger, I always prioritized my workouts, but not my sleep. I would never miss a day working out, but would try to get by on 5 hours of sleep. Trust me, not making the time for sleep will waste your time. Never do this and get your rest, as this will help maximize health and maintain lean muscle. I've seen multiple studies linking obesity and weight loss issues to lack of sleep. Quite frankly, people who don't sleep well weigh more. Short sleep duration leads to decreased leptin and increase in the ghrelin hormone. Increased ghrelin is what makes us more hungry and can lead to weight gain. Therefore, our appetite and desire to eat can increase if we sleep less. In our modern Western society, where sleep deprivation can be common with busy schedules and food widely available, this contributes to the obesity epidemic. If you're trying to maintain a calorie deficit, get a good night's sleep. We have another couple of videos on the science of sleep on our channel. Check these out for more in-depth coverage on this topic. If you neglect your sleep, it will be hard not only to maintain, but keep muscle. I would recommend going to sleep and getting up at a similar time every day. We spend money on houses, cars, and electronics, yet neglect a mattress where we spend so much of our life. Another important point is to make sure you adjust to working out for the right reasons. You may start out working out for the wrong reasons, such as getting bigger biceps, getting the girl, getting the guy, whoever you have a crush on, or wanting to be a model. However, over time, committing to working out is for a lifetime. It will take more than temporary passions, instead a commitment to the process. Strength training and commitment to it should be looked at as a way to go upstairs, to squat off the ground, be able to age gracefully, so you can take care of yourself and maintain a high quality of life with dignity. The worst thing you can do is to lose weight, but mostly lose muscle in the process. This is my nightmare scenario for you. Losing lean muscle or muscle overall will slow down your metabolism and not do you any favors. This makes any body recomposition occurring afterwards harder. Having enough protein is crucial for two reasons. First, it's filling, satiating. It stops you from eating more of other things. Second, provides amino acids, which are crucial to allowing you to build and maintain the right type of muscle and lean tissue. To maintain this, I would recommend a minimum of 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, upwards of potentially 1.3 to 1.4 grams of protein per pound of weight, which is covered in my other video on ideal protein that was posted just a few weeks ago. This is where you need to be. This allows you to preserve and add on muscle. A lot of time people reference 0.7 grams per pound of body weight. This is low and kind of more of a bare minimum that's suboptimal in my own experience. I don't want you to just be tied to the scale and worried about losing weight. I'd prefer that you focus on losing body fat, overall body recomposition. If you do this, you will lose weight from the areas you want. However, protein will not be enough if you don't optimize water. To do so, you need to drink before you feel thirsty. If you weigh 200 pounds, your bare minimum should be 100 ounces of water a day, roughly. Upwards of this would be more ideal. I understand it's hard to be mindful of this when you're busy to drink this much water. If you aren't mindful with water, this is something that can fall by the wayside. As a friendly reminder, add to your liquids without adding calories. Zero sugar options are ideal. Don't drink sugary juices and sodas, but opt instead for a green tea, or an occasional Diet Coke won't kill you. Personally speaking, flavored waters are some of my favorite. Find your problem with weight loss, identify it, and meet it head on. It's simple, but these tips really do make a difference. Avoid the pitfalls that I have shared. Remember to load your plate with the right foods, keep protein high, get your sleep, and structure a workout with purpose, and listen to the cues your body gives you. I challenge you to find something you can implement right away and leave comments below letting us know what worked. If you've gotten value, consider giving us a weight loss, muscle gaining thumbs up. Our goal is to bring you real fitness advice you can use right away in your daily life.